All right, everybody. Happy Thursday. Good afternoon to you. Welcome. If I can just get a quick audio and video check. Hey, Henry, how you doing there, man? Good. Very good. Hey, Johnny, Randall. All right, we're coming through loud and clear, Randall. All right, good. Oh, Marion. All right, everybody. Well, I hope everybody's had a great trading day today and a great trading week so far. Thanks for joining us here. So let's get rolling here. So welcome everybody to the Nadex Application and Strategy webinar series. My name is John Skelton with apexinvesting.com. This webinar today is brought to you by Nadex, and we're going to spend a little bit of time today talking about kind of the top mistakes of Nadex traders, okay? And so if you're brand new to Nadex, even if you're not brand new to Nadex, even if you've been trading for a little while, there's always some good stuff to recover here, recover the foundations and some of the basics here. So let's knock out some of our disclosures here so we can get rolling. Trading futures, options, or any financial instrument involves risk, may not be suitable for every investor. Any information contained here in this webinar is for educational and informational purposes only. Also, just keep in mind, if I show you the Nadex platform today and, I enter a ticket or exit a ticket or, place an order, that is in no way a trade advice or a trade recommendation. It's me simply trying to, teach you what we're reviewing today, showing you how to use the Nadex platform and so on. And again, trading on Nadex involves risk, may not be appropriate for every investor. And past performance not indicative of future results. So speaking of Nadex, if you are brand new to Nadex, again, this is not an Apex webinar, this is a Nadex webinar. And something I've got to give Nadex a lot of credit for is Nadex does a great job at offering their members a ton of free education. And if you're not taking advantage of that, you are definitely missing out. And, the point and reason of these webinars here is just to give you some education of who is Nadex, what are the options, what are the products they offer you, how can you incorporate those into your trading, and what are some different ways to trade them. Basically, Nadex offers binary options and spreads, and you can go through the Nadex website right here and get some great information and good overviews about those two products. But where I want to kind of direct you to right now, it's right here under Learning Center. You can go here to webinars. This will show you the upcoming webinars that Nadex is doing. And, you can see the date and times, the topics. You can get signed up for those webinars. You'll get email reminders of those webinars coming up that you get registered for. But right here under Webinar Archive, if you're new and you haven't been with us over the last couple weeks or couple months and you've missed some webinars, you can go right here and catch up. If you go right here to Filter by Presenter, and you click down and find us right here, Apex Investing Institute, you'll be able to see all the different webinars that we've done over the last couple of months here, and going back many months actually. And we cover a lot of things. We kind of circle back around every so often to the basics. So if you're completely brand new and you're like, hey, I'm not even sure what a Nadex binary is, or what a Nadex spread is, I'm not sure how those even work. Well, you can go back in here and you can watch everything from the very basics, of what is a binary, what is a spread, to understanding risk and reward. We talk about, how to manage your positions, talk about, and trading them at night. Again, the basics, different strategies, all kind of great stuff here. So if you're just starting off, definitely go here to this section and go back through and start with the foundation basics and kind of build from there. And this webinar we're on today is being recorded, and this is also where that recording will be, okay? So definitely take advantage of that and catch up on some of those webinars, and make sure to get registered for the upcoming ones. Another area I want to direct you to right here, very important, trading platforms. Nadex has a great online trading platform. They have a mobile app that will go right on your smartphone. But right here, demo trading platform. Nadex will give you a $25,000 simulated demo account, okay? Absolutely free. And all you have to do is just fill out some quick information and, hit enter. And in just a few moments, you'll get an email from Nadex with a temporary password, and you'll be able to log on to the Nadex demo account, okay? Once you do that, you can go in and you can change your password to whatever you'd like it to be, something easy for you to remember. But the Nadex demo platform is a great place to get familiar with Nadex, get familiar with how the platform works, what different instruments they offer, the different expiration times, entering and exiting orders. It's a great place to learn and get familiar and to try any new strategies and systems that you're looking at, practice them in demo, master them in demo. Once you get them down in demo and you're profitable in your demo account, then you can switch over to live account, all right, and to live trading. You don't want to use your live money, right, to learn. That's a very expensive education, okay? So Nadex offers you all of this free education. They offer you the free demo account. Even if you don't have a live account, you can get a demo account, okay, and get rolling that way. So definitely take advantage of that and utilize that, okay? Yeah, right, Paolo? Yeah, you don't want to lose that. You don't want to practice with your live money. You want to practice in demo, get it down, master it, then switch over. All right, so take advantage of all that stuff that Nadex offers you, okay? So again, we are thankful to Nadex for having us on this webinar today. And like I said, my name is John Skelton. I'm with apexinvesting.com. Apex and Nadex, two complete separate companies. Nadex is an exchange. Apex, we're an online education company. We're a group of traders helping traders. We've got over 20,000 members. We've got, indicators, software, trade rooms, strategy systems. A lot of our systems focus on risk management and probability. That's why we love the capped risk products of Nadex. And we're a Nadex education partner. We do these webinars for them. But we're traders just like you, okay? I trade Nadex binaries and spreads all the time. I've been with Apex now for almost 4 years now. As head of operations, I've got a background in banking and as a stockbroker, an educator, but we're traders just like you. And like I said, that's what we're here for, to do these webinars for Nadex, to help you understand who is Nadex, what is Nadex, how can I use it, okay? And like I showed you, we do, webinars, everything from the very basics of what are Nadex binaries and spreads. We talk about strategies, choosing the right strikes, why are there so many different expirations and strike prices to choose from, how to utilize that. We talk about a lot of different things, but today we're going to talk about something a little bit different. We're going to kind of step back from some of those, hey, here's a new strategy, or hey, here's different ways to look at this strike. We're going to kind of take a step back, and I want to talk to you a little bit about, something I've talked about in some of our Apex webinars and taught some of our group a lot about recently, is some top mistakes that Nadex traders make. And you might have a good grasp of binaries and spreads. You might even have a decent strategy or system, but if you don't take some of these key things into consideration, okay, it can kind of steer you down the wrong path. So we want to talk about some top mistakes, some proper trading mentality, and risk management. So let's go back real quick here. Let's take a step back, and I'm going to kind of gear this first part mainly towards those of you that might be brand new to Nadex, okay? And, so I already showed you where you can get some more information, but, when we're talking about, who is Nadex and what is Nadex, and, kind of the power of Nadex. Many of you, might have heard of Nadex. You're familiar with, hey, how binary options or spreads work. You're familiar that, you can open an account with Nadex for just, $250. I mean, a very slow or very low amount to fund an account. And that is the appeal to a lot of new traders and just kind of, day-to-day traders, day-to-day people like you and I, of getting on with Nadex. Because, you don't have to have thousands and thousands of dollars just to open an account. You don't necessarily have to deal with some of these, huge margins like you would have to trade certain other things. You have capped risk. All right, when you go in and you enter a trade with Nadex, you have capped risk. You can go right in to the platform here, and you can, pick a binary, for example, and what your risk is right up front. If you want to buy this binary right here, it specifically tells you right up front before you enter the trade, your max loss is $22.75. Your max profit is $77. Your risk is known up front. You know what your risk is. You know what your maximum risk is. Okay, even if you're wrong and the market flies the other direction and it goes against you hundreds of points, if the market flash crashes, right, and just boom, instantly just hundreds of points against you, you're still capped at this risk right here that's listed. You cannot lose more than that. You cannot lose more than what's in your account. Okay, some of you have heard some of these horror stories about, oh, you know, this forex pair just flash crashed and, you know, all these people lost all their account and they even owe the broker money, right? Because with certain trading instruments, your risk can be quote unquote unlimited. Okay, but that's not the case with Nadex, right? Your risk is capped. You can trade certain very low risk products and you know what your risk is right up front. Okay, you don't have these huge big margins and have to have thousands and thousands of dollars to trade. You know, you can get into certain trades for just a few dollars risk, right? Depending on what you choose. I mean, if you chose this binary right here, your risk is $5.75. Choose that one, $27. You can get into, you know, $71. You can get into trades. You can choose your strike prices. You can get into trades where you can trade. I mean, you know, we want to talk about commodities for a minute here. You can get in and actually trade the oil market, right? You can get in and trade the oil market with $3 risks, $13 risks, $29 risks. Okay, that is huge to be able to trade things like oil and gold and some of these big stock indices for very little risk. Okay, so that is one of the positive things about Nadex is it's very different, right? It's kind of geared towards, you know, a new trader for the day-to-day person. You know, the URI that, you know, I don't have tens of thousands of dollars to get into with trading. Okay, and so you can get in, you can trade a forex lot for just, you know, very little. So that is the positive thing about Nadex is it opens that door to kind of the day-to-day person. You can trade with capped risk, open an account for a small amount, and you can trade bigger markets like that, like oil and gold, and risk very little. So it's very different. It's very unique. Okay. And I want you to keep that in mind, but understand that if you don't have the proper perspective of that, it becomes a downfall. Not Nadex, but your thinking. And why is that? Well, it's because you think, hey, this is different. This is not like normal trading. Okay, it's such low risk that it's not a big deal. I can just play with it. I can treat it like a hobby. I can just press buttons. I can just randomly, you know, hey, it's not that much money. This is so different. I'm going to randomly, you know, throw $11, randomly throw $27 out there to trade oil, you know, because I feel like a bigwig now. Like I can go talk this up to my friends and I can be like, oh, I'm in trade. I trade oil and hey, I got into this. There's not a whole lot to fund the account. It's not a big risk. So what? I'm going to go ahead and just throw $26 at oil. Why not? You know, I mean, hey, maybe I can make $73 and I can talk about a, you know, 300% return on my money and, you know, I can talk big about it and feel good about it. If I lose, who cares? It's only $26. It's not like real trading. So I don't really, you know, have to worry about it. I don't have to worry about those things like the big traders talk about, you know, about risk management and risk to reward ratios. And, you know, I don't really need to do all that. It's only $100. It's only $26 for a binary. Such a small amount is not a big deal. The rules are different. You know, for those people that, you know, trade like, for those big time traders that trade futures and options and CFDs and stocks, and they're having to watch charts and they're looking at, you know, the whole month and looking at a monthly chart for the bigger trend and the weekly charts to see if the trend's changing and the daily charts to see the highs and lows. And, you know, then they've got all their fancy charts with indicators and levels and, you know, the real quote unquote traders, the big guy traders, that are having to read the market and learn the market and understand the market. I don't have to do all that mess. I don't have to spend the time educating myself. I don't have to spend the time to learn volume and how markets work. I don't have to do all that because, this is different. I'm trading something different, and I only have to risk a little bit of money. So I don't have to do it like the big time traders do. I think the rules are different because Nadex is different. Nadex, is a derivative product of that futures market. It's a simple yes or no, right? At expiration, I just have one or two options on a binary. It's either worth 0 or 100. It's binary. It's yes, no, 0, 1, true or false. It's so different from what those other traders have to deal with that the rules are different. Can you guys see, without me even going on and on or getting to the next slide, how that's wrong? Yeah, Randall, exactly. Then you lose X amount of trades, and all of a sudden, ooh, that added up, and there's all my hundreds of, oops, okay? And Adrian, you've been there? Charlie, you've been there? I'm not going to lie to you guys. Years back, 4 years ago, when I first started trading Nadex, I felt the same way. I thought, oh, this is so different. It's not like this is a shortcut to where I can just, press these buttons and do all this, and I don't have to learn. I don't have to, it's like, oh, this is just so easy. And why did a lot of us think it was so easy? What's that first line right there? Because you watch something online about some overseas bucket shop binary thing, just press a button, just press a button, just press a button, right? Okay? And you had the wrong perception when you came to Nadex, right? Which is a US related or US regulated exchange, all right? You're trading with an exchange, all right? You're trading legit big markets, these stock indices, these forex pairs, oil, gold. Just because it's a product that's a derivative of that, everything's a different product of that. Whether you're trading a futures contract or a futures option or regular options or spot forex through a broker, it doesn't matter. You're trading that market, okay? And just because you don't have to put up as much money to get in the trade as you might have to do on a futures market or an actual futures contract or a futures option doesn't change the game. It doesn't change the rules, okay? You're trading live money. You're trading that market. The actual instrument you use to trade it might be a derivative product, a binary or a spread or whatever it might be, but you're still trading that market. You're a trader. You're trading live money. The rules do not change. And so my point, does everybody understand my point here? Don't take these positives of capped risk, smaller risk, a small amount to open an account. Don't take those positives and due to your misconception, turn it into a negative, okay? The rules still apply. How do you think you'll ever become that trader that trades huge, big time or large accounts? Or you might start off when trading one contract at a time with Nadex, but you want to get to the point where you're trading 10. You're never going to get to that point without growing your account, becoming a successful trader, and being able to compound those contracts. You have to treat it the same way. The rules are not different. You have to learn the markets. You have to educate yourself, okay? It's, Marvino says, John, I used to think of binaries like playing a corner. Yeah, it's not just a you know, you get so caught up with just pressing buttons like, oh, because hey, there's a expiration in 5 minutes, and there's another expiration in 20 minutes, and there's an expiration in an hour, and and I got to be pressing buttons. Like I got to be pressing buttons, right? And you get caught up with this feeling of, well, because here's the next misconception, where you take a positive, okay, a very positive thing that Nadex offers you, and you make it a negative because of your perception. All right, and what is that? Well, let's pull up the platform. What do I see over here when I look at these instruments? Well, let me pull up this. I go to 5-minute binaries under forex, and let's just randomly look at the euro dollar. Well, I've got an expiration coming in 1 minute and 45 seconds. Oh man, there's an expiration happening in 1 minute and 40 seconds. I got to find a trade. I got to find a trade. I got to find a trade. Says who? Says who? Who says you have to find a trade because there's an expiration coming and about to expire? Well, because in 1 minute and 22 seconds, 21 seconds, that expiration is gone. It will never be there again. I'll never get the opportunity again to trade this expiration. And there's, you know, the clock's ticking, the day's going by. I have to find a way to trade this expiration. How many of you, raise your hand, have ever felt that way when you're trading Nadex? There's an expiration coming at this time. I see the clock. It's a countdown clock. And what do we normally think of with a countdown clock? You see countdown clocks, what? In like sales pitches and sales gimmicks and create urgency. You better get in and buy now. Only this much time left. Do you think that's why that clock is there? No. That's your mentality. That's you looking at that clock wrong. That clock is not there to tell you, hurry, hurry, you got to trade this. That clock is letting you know there's an expiration happening at 1:25 p.m. Here's how much time is left in that expiration. Here's the date that it'll expire on. Here's the prices. It's helping you be informed of what's available, right? And you're seeing that countdown. Oh, I got to get in. I got to get in. And then here in 7 seconds, 6 seconds, what happens? Well, let's look. Those expire, that goes away, and oh, look, here's another one, 5 minute form. Okay, now I got to get in this one because I missed that one. I've got to find a trade. Let me find something. Let me press a button. That is not what Nadex expirations are there for. Because you see, oh, I've got those 5 minute, and look here, here's 20-minute binaries. Look, I've got 20-minute binaries that are going to expire in 14 minutes. And then I can pull this up right here, and I can see that I've got other ones expiring in 34 minutes, and then other ones expiring in 2 hours or an hour and 34 minutes. And then some. I've got to trade these things. Right? We've all fallen into that misconception when it comes to Nadex of there's an expiration, there's a countdown clock, I have to trade this or I'm missing out. Okay, that is you, that is your misconception, and that is you leading yourself down a wrong path. Okay? I think I've used this analogy before. If I go to a car dealership and I want to buy a new truck, and they've got 30 different trucks out there in different colors, do I have to buy one of each color because it's there? I'm in the market to trade. I'm looking for a trade set up. I've got money in my account. Hey, I'm looking to buy a truck. I'm pre-approved. I'm out shopping. So just because there's 30 trucks there, do I have to buy all 30 of them? Just because there's a truck of each different color, do I have to buy one of each color? Just because I show up at the car dealer at 8:45 at night and they close at 9, do I have to buy a truck before 9 o'clock and just to pick one to say I bought it because of a time? That makes no sense, does it? When you go out to buy a car, do you buy a car just because the dealership's going to close at a certain time? No, they're going to reopen. Just like, no, there's going to be another expiration. What do you look for when you go to buy that car? The right car, the car you want, the one that fits your budget, the right color, the right specs, the one that fits your family's needs, right? You're looking at the environment, you're looking at the condition of the car, the condition of, you know, what your family needs, the condition of your bank account, the condition of what your monthly payment can handle. You're looking at those conditions to make the right choice, okay? Why does the dealership have 30 different ones to choose from? Why do they have 30, different options, 30 different colors? That's a positive thing because it's giving you options to be able to select the one that's best for you instead of just giving you one, right? Is it a positive thing or a negative thing that you have options to find the one that best fits your needs? It's a positive thing, right? Don't go in there, the dealership, making it out like it's negative that you have options. Options does not mean you have to take them all. Options is more to choose from to get the best one. And that's all that Nadex is doing for you here. It's for your benefit, Randall, exactly. Nadex is giving you the option of, hey, you're looking at your chart, your indicators, your strategy, your system. Okay? You're looking at a potential move. You're looking at a potential setup. Okay? How far do you expect that move to go? How far do you expect the market to move? Well, that's why there's different options for you of different strike prices. Right? Okay. How long do you think it's going to take the market to move that far? Just because you're looking at it, right now it's 1:27 p.m. Eastern time. Just because there's an expiration in 2 minutes doesn't mean that's the one you have to take. Or 3 minutes, just because there's an expiration in 33 minutes doesn't mean that's the one you have to take. Maybe you want to take that because you expect the market will move that far within that time. But you have other options, right? To the next hour, to the next hour, the dailies, the weeklies, the 5 minutes, the 20 minutes. Nadex has given you all these different options of expirations so that you can look and see around your strategy and system what fits best. What gives the market enough time to move? What gives the market the right place to move to based on the different strikes you have available? Here's what you're doing, and here's what you're doing wrong. Because there's an expiration, you feel like somehow you have to find a way to make the global world trading markets work around your Nadex expiration. Does that make sense? Well, since there's an expiration, I've got to find some way to make the oil market or the euro dollar market work around this Nadex expiration. The world's market has to fit into somehow the mold of this expiration. The world doesn't work that way, does it? That's you and your misconception thinking that the markets should work around you and your expiration, as to where you're not understanding the fact that Nadex gives you a lot of different expirations, short-term, medium-term, hour, next hour, daily, weekly, for you to find a binary that will work around the strategy that you're trading in that market. Does that make sense? For some of you, that might be a very elementary thing. But for some of you, does that make sense of, oh, I have been doing that. Just because there's an expiration, I'm feeling like I have to trade that. Like I have to find a way for the market to work around that expiration. And I have to trade every single expiration there is or I'm missing out. No. Just like you don't have to go buy every house that's out there or every car that's out there or whatever. You have options to find the best option to fit the market. The market doesn't work around you, or doesn't work around a Nadex expiration, or any exchange or broker's offer. You have to find the best one. Fortunately, you've found an exchange that offers you a ton of them, right? 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 4 p.m., weekly, 20 minutes, 5 minutes, binary, spreads, tons of different strikes at different prices. You've got all of these options out there all throughout the day and night. So does that make sense, the point I'm trying to get across to you? Because this is one of the biggest things I've seen new Nadex traders do, and it's just a common misconception. For one, you do not take the rules out of the game. You still have to learn the markets. You still have to have a strategy and system, okay? Don't feel like just because there's an expiration, you have to press a button, right? Sometimes being the best trader is knowing when not to press a button, okay? The rules are not different. Just because there's a expiration does not mean you have to trade it. Do not feel like you have to find a way. You will spend years of your life trying to come up with some little strategy to make the market fit around a Nadex expiration. And that's not what the Nadex expirations are there for. All right? You want to wait for the right setups. You want to make sure that you learn a system, and then you find the best binary or spread strike and expiration to work around the market, like to fit the market, to work in with the market, giving the market enough time to be right, giving your strategy and system enough time to be right, giving the market enough time to move, okay? So don't look at expirations that way. It's a positive with having so many options. You are making it into a negative due to a misconception of it, okay? So stop doing that. Remember, you do not have to trade. You do not have to press a button. You don't have to make something happen. You don't have to search for and find and push a trade before an expiration. Don't spin your wheels like that all day, because you'll be, profitable on a couple, and then you lose a couple, and then you're profitable on one, and then you lose three, and then who knows where you'll end up at the end of the day, just spinning your wheels, just pressing buttons and trading every expiration. Learn to trade. Learn to be patient. Learn a strategy. Learn a system. Take the right ones. Find the right strikes and the right expirations to fit what the market is doing. Always do what your chart is telling you to do, okay? Don't be one of those people that, well, Nadex is different because I can get into it so cheap. I can risk such a little amount. I don't need to read the market conditions. I'm just going to go with it. It's simple yes or no. That's the quickest way to drain your account. You're a trader. You're trading these live markets. You're trading with live money. Learn the markets. Learn trading. Be a student of trading. Okay? Learn the market conditions. Have multiple approaches in your trading toolbox. Okay? Learn how to trade trending markets and how to trade range-bound markets. Understand time decay. Understand how binaries and spreads work. Understand, the difference of in the money and out of the money and out the money. Take time to educate yourself. Use good risk management. That's the other big thing. It's so easy to open an account with Nadex. I'm not risking that much. I don't need good risk management. Yeah, you do. Because, hey, it might only be $30 that I'm risking, no big deal. Okay, but when you've only got $300 in your account and you risk $30 and you do 4 contracts at a time, and you're risking $120 a pop, you're risking close to 50% of your account on every trade. What happens after you lose 2 trades? You're done. Is that good risk management? No. No. What if you have bad risk to reward ratio? Well, I'm going to risk 40 to make 10. I'm going to risk 80 to make 20. Okay, well, you better have some good strategies in there. Don't think that you can get away with not having good risk management. Don't over trade for your account size. Okay, you've heard me say this many times. Trading is a marathon, not a sprint. It's that consistent, ongoing, long-term building and compounding. All right, or you think, well, I always have to hold to expiration. I know I can get out early, but I don't really want to learn to read the markets. I'll just wing it. I'll just risk it. Hopefully it expires profitable. Oh man, look, it expired worth 0. It was going in my favor and then it went against me. Well, were you reading your chart though? Were you reading the chart to say, hey, yeah, that position was going in my favor, but I sold it and then the market was going down and I was doing good, but then it came back and expired against me. Did you look at your chart to see that there was chop going on in the market and the market bounced off a level and had exhaustion and had divergence? I don't want to learn all that. Well, then you're going to get caught in quite a few trades like that, where had you learned a system, you could have seen, hey, I called it right. System called it right. Market was going in my favor. I was up in profit. Now it's coming to a level. Now it's diverging. Now the chart's telling me it's going the other way. So why don't I go ahead and close that trade out now? No, I don't want to learn that. I'll just risk it. Does that sound like trading or does that sound like something else? Yeah, that's not trading, is it? Okay. And that's a good way to see your account go to 0 pretty quickly over time, right? So guys, not a long, crazy webinar today, but part of the biggest reasons that people do this is, for one, they're just looking for an easy route. They don't want to learn, they don't want to try, they don't want to educate themselves. They just want to start pressing buttons and, oh, let's make all this money, right? They don't have any patience. They want to make money now. They want to be profitable now. They don't want to have the patience to learn to do it right. They don't want to have a structured system and take the time to learn that. They don't want to have, step-by-step rules. They don't want to understand the ABCs and the 1, 2, 3s of a system. They don't want to learn to read the markets or where to learn, okay? Paolo asks, what is your number 1 tip? Paolo, what I could say is, there's so many tips. I've covered some of them, talking about not, having good risk management, and, you don't want to overtrade, and you want to understand, how the products work. So many of those. But the biggest thing I can tell you is probably this, would be this one right here, or these two, is learning to read the markets, okay? And learning the ABCs and the 1, 2, 3s. What does that mean? How many of you have ever traded some system or some indicator you throw on your chart that the indicator just says, green for buy and red for sell? Or maybe you have a little system that's like, well, when these, when the price hits this, and then this indicator crosses this one, and this one turns green, then just buy. You guys seen that, right? You've all seen some little system or indicators that way. And so you're learning the steps of what's the rules. 1, this indicator has to cross this one. 2, this one has to be green. 3, this one has to be green. 4, I press buy. You've all seen some little system like that, right? So you get the steps of 1, 2, 3, 4, right? But why are you doing that? Why? It's good you understand the rules of your system. It's good you understand, okay, 1, I'm looking for this, 2, this, 3, this. But do you understand why those rules are there? Meaning, do you understand what that strategy and system is looking for? Well, it's looking for this to happen because of volume. And I understand volume, and I understand how volume moves the market, and I understand how less volume can be a divergence. And what do I mean by that? Well, I understand that when the market's making this big push down, and I see this accumulated volume building and building and building here, right here, then the market goes even further down. But it goes further down on a lot less volume. Okay, I can imagine myself running up a hill. Okay, look at it this way. Market's coming up, up, up. See this green volume building, boom, boom, boom. A lot of strength in the market. It goes up a little further, and look at the green. Not much at all. Goes up even a little further. Not much strength at all compared to the last push. You ever tried running straight up a mountain? You're getting up, and you take a little breather, and you get a little further, and you take a little breather, and you get a little further, and that last push up, it's all you got left, right? And you're just exhausted. You know what I mean? Well, what do you think is going to happen after that final push of exhaustion up the hill? I'm done. Where's the market going? Oh, well, I was just waiting for something to turn the other color red, and then I sell. I don't want to know why. I don't want to understand the market. I mean, maybe this is a bad example, but in just that example, do you see what I'm talking about there? Oh, well, I'm just waiting for some indicator to turn red right here, and then I sell. And look, the market goes down when it's red. That's cool. Oh, but I understand more to that. I understand why we're looking at these things. I understand what's behind some of these indicators and the market. And oh, I see what you mean now. The market didn't just go up because everything was green, and then now it's going down because that's red. I see what you're talking about, exhaustion in the market, where it made a higher high on lower volume than that makes sense to me. I'm learning to read the markets. I'm seeing what's behind that. I'm understanding why, when the market did the same thing here and it came down on all this volume, pushed even a little further on less volume, it couldn't break through this strong previous ice level right here. What did it do? It bounced and went back up. That could have been possibly tradable. But, and when I'm learning to read inside the market, I can see things like that. I can learn to expect things like that. Okay? Who asked that question? Paulo, does that help answer your question? I think that's probably the number one thing I can tell you. Yeah, you need to understand binaries and spreads. Yeah, you need to understand good risk management. Yeah, but learn more than just a red-green indicator. Learn more than just 1, 2, 3 of a system. Learn what's behind it. Like that was just a quick 5-minute overview, Paulo, but does that make sense? Like just a few of those things I just pointed out, you're like, oh, I was just looking at your screen there, John. I just saw a bunch of stuff everywhere. But just those couple little examples, you see what I'm talking about? Where when you learn to read what's inside the market, and that's not having some guru telling you this and this and that, and you're having to twist your head to the left going, I don't see any of what he just said. Hopefully what I just said there without a long training makes sense. Oh, it went further on less. It's exhausted like me running up the hill. Oh, it pushed down, and when volume is running out and it's coming to a strong level, that makes sense. If it can't push through a strong level with good volume because the volume's dying out at that strong level, what would I expect? I would expect a revert. That makes sense, right? If I sold a binary up here and the market is coming down, and then I see the market coming down on less volume to this level, but I'm not at expiration yet. Oh, I'll just hold it till expiration and see what happens. Oh, it went against me. Is that smart? Or is it smart to be able to read the market and know, hey, it's probably not going to push through that level and keep going down. That binary I sold is in profit right now. Maybe I should go ahead and exit it early, take my profits off the table, instead of holding it to expiration and letting it come back against me. Why would I do that? Does that make sense, everyone? Learn the markets. You're trading blind if you're just pressing buttons. Learn what's inside of there and how the markets work. Okay? So, learn the ABCs, the 1, 2, 3s, learn to trade, guys. Nadex, again, offers you so many great things. Capped risk, low, amount to fund an account. All of these great expirations. Remember the positives and the strengths of those. Don't turn them into negatives, thinking you just got to press buttons at every expiration or that you don't need good risk management or good rules. The rules still apply. You're still trading live money. You're still trading these major markets. It's just a different product that you're trading that you can get into at a lower risk and a lower amount to fund an account. But the rules are still there. You still have to learn, okay? So once again, guys, thank you for being on the webinar. Once again, let me show you where this webinar recording will be. If you want to go back and watch it, when you hop on over to nadex.com, you go to the Learning Center, go right here to Webinar Archive, and when it says Filter by Presenter, you can just pull this down, find Apex Investing Institute, and this is where the past recordings are and where the recording right here will be. Okay. All right, guys, thank you so much. Alo says, what is a strategy you would recommend to learn first? You know what I always say, start with one and add one on. I'll start with the trend, start with a trending strategy, get that one down, master it in demo, move over to live, then add on a range bound strategy, test out the range bound in demo, master it, and move on to live. Add on from there. You want to have different plays in your playbook, but don't learn 10 different strategies at one time. Start with one and add on. Okay? All right, guys. Thank you so much for being on with us. We hope you have a great trading week, and we will look forward to seeing you on next week's webinar. Thank you so much, guys. Have a good one.